What's up, people? It's of course here, coming at you with another Rogue Company video. Today, I want to talk about a new game mode that I found in the files called Wingman. Now, some people may already know about this one, but it's new to me, and I think it's dope. So this is going to be the 2v2 competitive game mode. And let me talk about why I like this so much. Like, Demolition is obviously going to be the competitive mode here, and that's going to be the one that they probably, or that they should probably put most of their like time into. But something about a 2v2 competitive mode is so enticing to me because it takes so much more coordination. Like, I know people think like, oh, 4v4 is going to be harder, but 2v2 makes it to where you can make less mistakes, right? It's you, one other person, and if you're not in complete sync almost, and assuming you're playing against people that are at least as good as you are, like, you lose that round, right? You lose that game. So I really like that because it's going to force people to communicate. There's not going to be any, oh, I'm not using my mic for this or nothing like that. Like, this is going to be a game mode where you have to be hyper focused and hyper in tune. So I'm excited about that. Something else that was interesting about this too is that this is a game mode that was also in CSGO. So some of like the old CSGO pros may just transfer over because of that. Like, you know, because that was like a game mode that a lot of the old school players really loved. I know I was talking to some of my buddies about that, trying to get them to come over to Rogue Company, and I was telling them about Wingman, and they got excited because they remembered that from back in the day. So if people do want to kind of get a look at what that's like, CSGO might be the place to go. I don't even know if they still do it now. But basically, it was a mode where you place a bomb, defuse bombs, and basically like a mini demolition. So I think that's really interesting. I want to see what that looks like because, like I said, I didn't play CSGO like that back in the day, so I didn't know about this game mode. So another thing here is that they showed some maps that will actually be used in Wingman, or at least as far as we know. That could obviously change before the game or the game mode comes out. So let's go ahead and put some of these up and kind of talk about them and get a view of them here. So as you see here, we have the map Depot, and in the middle of the screen there, you will see it says at RocoLeaks. Go check this guy out. He puts up a lot of leaked content, a lot of content for us to see early, so make sure to check it out. But as I was saying here, the map Depot, now looking at this map, the first thing I noticed that it looks relatively small. So like if you compare it to like all these maps that we're playing on now, and that makes sense because if it's a 2v2, it shouldn't be as big as like this map that I'm on right now, right? Because that might be a little too much space to mess around with. I imagine something like those Call of Duty 1v or 2v2 maps, you know, that was really popular for a little while, something like that. And they look pretty much identical, right? Like symmetrical. So this should be very interesting, like a little arena, and I'm really curious to see how this map plays out. There's two more here that I want to show you, so let's go ahead and take a look at. This one is called Rooftops. So I really like this one because it has in the notes right there. So you will walk on the roofs of buildings. If you fall on the floor, you will die from fall damage / barriers. Now, I think that's very interesting because it just adds another dynamic to the game. Now, granted, you can fall off stuff like right now, right? Like in canals, if you fall off like in the water, you're done, right? But I kind of like this is that this whole thing is built around that concept, right? Like you have to navigate these rooftops without falling off. And if you do, you basically put your partner in this 1v2 situation. Also, something curious that this map looks a little bit bigger than the other one, but at the same, just like that first one, looks symmetrical. So this one right here, I think will be interesting. I think this one will be fun, and I'm curious to know, you know, like what this really looks like once it gets into place, you know, because I'm trying to look at this and think of like where you would place bombs here, where you would defuse bombs here, and just like the best spot for it. So I really want to see these maps like fleshed out, kind of like how they just did the Dr. Disrespect 3D model. I hope they give us some 3D models of these as well, because I really want to see what they look like. And there's one more map here that I want to show you. It is called, this map is District. So this one right here says likely Wingman. Now, I have my doubts about this. I'm not sure, but the reason I have my doubts is that it's so very open, and I feel like the other maps weren't quite this open, so I'm not sure. But this could very well possibly be a Wingman map, and maybe the bomb defuse or planting spot is in the middle right there. That would be interesting because as you see, there's like basically no cover. This map has those 4 little squares in the middle, and that's pretty much it. Or I shouldn't say squares, they're shapes, right? All mixed shapes. So this one right here is interesting. This, I don't know how this will work or what type of game mode this is going to be. Now, if I could give my opinion here, I could see this being more of like a melee only type of arena deathmatch, right? Where like people are just throwing blades, running up and chopping people up. Because this looks like some type of weird dodgeball deathmatch type of map. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know about this one, but they say it might be Wingman, but I wouldn't be surprised if this was definitely something else. Let me know what you guys think of these maps down in the comment section. And yeah, because they look interesting. I'm all for more game modes. I know some people may not think it's a good idea just because we don't have a huge player base right now. And I kind of get that, like splitting, you know, like splitting people's time between different game modes. You may not have enough people to play like Strikeout or Demolition, or if they bring Extraction back. But when Extraction was in the game, I feel like I didn't have any longer wait time than you know I normally did. So I don't know, but I definitely don't think it's going to be a problem once the game goes free to play anyway. So I don't think in the long run it's going to be a huge issue. But if I can real quick, I do want to talk about, I think that bringing this type of game mode to the game is going to be good for the competitive type players and for the casual type players, because casual players are going to be down for any game mode that comes out, right? Whether if it's sweaty or not sweating, if there's something that's new, people are going to jump into it, people are going to try it. And if you keep a game fresh, you're going to keep people coming back, even if it's just to try out that game mode. That might be for a day, that might be for a week, whatever the case may be. If you can get people to keep coming back to your game, you're winning, because instead of playing something else, they're playing your game, right? So I'm hoping that they do something like this. And for the competitive people, that'll be something that gives them that drive, like I was talking about earlier, right? Because that is very competitive. A 2v2, like that takes a lot of skill. There's gonna be a lot of people getting in here with their buddies, their best friends, to see if they can actually like climb the rank there, especially if there is actually a ranked system. So I hope they do something like that. Now, just to swap topics real quick, since we're talking about game modes, kinda, when looking into the files, like somebody found this clip of Scott, I believe it was, talking about them not doing a battle royale mode. And that's kind of disappointing, because I was kind of hoping that there would be a battle royale type game here, even if it wasn't like some 60 player, 100 player type battle royale, maybe like a, I don't know, like a 20 or 30 player lobbies or something, where, you know, you have a bigger map and, you know, you kind of go out there, seek and destroy, and last team standing, maybe teams of 3 or something, you know, so there'd be 10 teams total. I was really hoping for something to that level, but I kind of get why they're not doing it. You don't want to spread yourself too thin. And yeah, so, you know, I just want to get that out there so people knew. Last thing, and this right here, it's just something that's annoying me right now. Servers have been down all day, and I don't know why. Like they posted something on their Twitter just saying that, you know, servers are down, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, I have no idea why servers are down. I wanted to stream today, but I'm not going to be able to because we can't get on. But in the future, I'm going to try to be streaming this game maybe like twice a week or so, maybe more, like if there's no content to make. So keep that in mind. If you haven't done so already, send me a friend request, or of course one. And if you're trying to get into a game with me, you know, sometimes I'll turn my mic on, sometimes I won't, because a lot of people are playing music and whatnot. But if you do want to get into a game with me, just make sure that you're not raging, yelling, and cussing, because, you know, I'm putting this content on YouTube, right? So don't get me demonetized. Also, don't be playing loud music and whatnot. And just be present, right? No raging, no acting a fool, especially if there's kids in the chat. So I'd appreciate that now, just so people know before they come into the chat. And yeah, I'd be down to play with you guys, because I really want to get like a nice solid team going. So when I start playing Demolition, or when rank comes out, it'd be cool to have like a bunch of guys or ladies who, you know, are kind of sick at the game and match my personality and energy. So thank you for watching, people. This is RocoLeaks. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.